absolutely.
Now, you were born in Wolverhampton, it says here.
Unfortunately, no, I'm only joking. Yes, I was born in Wolverhampton.
Well, the home of a certain football team.
And Slade. Everyone always mentions.
That's right,
Yeah, absolutely.
And Paul Birch.
Yeah, Paul Birch. Why is it everyone knows?
Councillor Paul Birch, I believe.
Wow, really?
Oh, yes. Anyway, on to business. Rebecca Downs, when do you remember that you first encountered music generally? And what was it?
It was Adam and the Ants. Is that bizarre or what? No, before that it was my parents playing swing and jazz in the home. So like they were obsessed and still are with Etta James, Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, Julie London, you can go on. And I think they met a month before they actually went on their first date. They met in Birmingham at the Ella Fitzgerald concert. So a month before they actually got together, I think they've been married like 50 years, they were at the same concert. So yeah, I was only teasing with Adam and the Ants, I'm sorry. It's my Wolverhampton humour.
You mentioned Etta James. I sort of remember last time I saw it was a long time ago in the... Oh,
it's been a while.
It was in that pub just off Jewel Recorder.
That's it, yeah. The Actress Edition.
That's the one. And you did an Etta James song. I think you did Rather Go Blind.
Rather Go Blind, yeah.
You still do it?
I don't do it anymore. I probably did it up till last year. I mean, we do it now and again, but I think there's only so many room for so many covers, so it's trying to get a little bit of a turnaround of different covers in there. But
so having had a proper music education with all these great singers, when did you sort of feel that you might like to sing yourself?
When I was sort of, infant school, sort of like 4 or 5 years old, I used to make up songs for everyone. So I'd be on the playground, and I couldn't play an instrument or anything, but everyone would just be like, oh, Becky, make up a song. So I'd just be making up a song and singing for everyone that was on the playground. And then sort of literally from maybe 4 or 5 years old, thinking, I want to be a singer.
So when did you actually first face a public?
First face the public in a band, in an actual band. I was 12, just turned 13 at school. Too young. Too young.
And what was the first song you sang?
Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton.
Oh.
Because all the people in the band, one was Dan Whitehouse, who's now very big on the folk scene in Birmingham, you might have heard of Dan. Another one was a guy called Adam Dunn, who went to the Guitar Institute in London. So even though we were like 12 years old at the time, the guys that were in the band were great musicians, and Adam had just learned Wonderful Tonight, so that's what we played.
Well, it's a pretty good start, isn't it?
It's a pretty good start.
So, you went to college in Stafford, was that right?
Yeah, Stoke.
And you studied, kind of design, was it?
Fine art and art history.
That's pretty cool.
You see, if you're a musician, you've just got to study fine art. I think it's because I'm obsessed with Freddie Mercury that, you have to do what Freddie did,
I thought you were going to say Mick Jagger. Now, after your debut at the age of 12, when did you start thinking seriously about being a singer? Did you form a band? Did you join a band? Did you go around and say, hey, I'm a singer, can I sit in with you?
That was my first band when I was 12, and we were performing in pubs and clubs all over Wolverhampton and the West Midlands. And that was it. That was kind of like, this is what I want to do. Prior to that, I hadn't really got a clue. I'd wanted to be everything from an astronaut to a tennis player. So for me, that was it, and that's when the pain started. Anyone knows that, being in a band, is a lot of hard work, and a lot of tears, and a lot of blood, and a lot of sweat. And so it started from there, but I think, having spoken to others that, are singers as well, and songwriters, that there is no other route. You have to do it, even if sometimes you don't really, you don't know if you've still got it in you anymore, you've still got to do it.
Yeah, the other route, of course, is conservatoire, but I must be honest with you, the amount of young musicians I've talked to today who started a conservatoire course and given up, because it's the basic premise of what they say is it doesn't really equip you to go out and be a professional musician.
No, I mean, there's so many. I mean, there wasn't when I did my degree, that it was kind of the conservatoire or nothing else, but now there's so many courses. There's BIM, there's South and City College. I think there's like 5 colleges in Birmingham that do popular music, that do gigs, that do take kids out. And, you know, you've got South and City College has got their own auditorium and their own gig centre, you know, so it's changed a lot. Maybe in the last like 10, 15 years.
It still doesn't. I was talking to a girl called, I can't remember her name, saxophone player, played Alex Clark, played jazz festival this year, and she gave up after a term at the conservatoire. She said, I don't want to spend 3 days studying obscure saxophone players who I never want to play like, and who, if I did play like them, I'd never get a gig anyway.
Yeah, that's the truth, isn't it? I think that, I mean, if you want to be a gigging musician, you have to go out and gig, and there's nothing else that you can do. You know, you've got to go out and gig. If I'm gigging since the age of 12, you get all the fright, everything out of your system very, very early on, and you deal with a lot of things very early on. A lot of rejection, a lot of jealousy, and a lot of things that you wouldn't experience if you didn't do those gigs. So it's not just about the music, you know.
So when did it start getting most serious? Was it when you met Mark Viner?
I'd been in bands all, you know, since the age of 12, different bands, different guises. I did give it up for about 2 years because I felt like I just hadn't got anything left. That was about 10 years ago. And I just thought maybe I just need a break. So after that, I came back and I set up a little band with John Potter, Steve Burkett, there was a couple of other players, Gary Jones on as well, and Mark Viner Stewart, who owns a studio in Wolverhampton. He works with Magnum, he works with Jim Lee from Slade, came and saw me. He's a friend of mine, and just said, I want to help you. I don't know how I can help you. We'll record some of your songs, and suddenly out of nowhere I thought, I think I better do this again. So it all started again.
And how did that manifest itself? What was your first, I mean, how long before we got in the studio? And actually one question, from the way you've spoken so far, it seems that you probably write most of your own material.
Yeah, me and Steve Burkett write all the songs. He's not the guitarist. We write all the time, so I know some artists go, oh, I'm going to go in the studio now and we're going to write songs, but we don't. We're writing all the time, so we're kind of songwriters primarily before we're performers. So probably it was about, we both had a catalogue of songs that we kind of played to each other and went, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. Yeah, I like that. So we sort of gathered together about 5 tunes that we put down as the first EP that Mark actually recorded for nothing for me.
Brilliant.
Good lad.
So you don't do any songs from other people's repertoire?
We do a couple of covers still. As I say, we did I'd Rather Go Blind. We do, what's the one?
I'm sure you remember the lyrics.
Rock and Roll, and we do the Joe Cocker one. A Little Help for My Friends,
yeah.
which I've always adored. See, I can never remember song titles. I can sort of remember the lyrics, but not the titles.
And I guess you do the cocker version from his Mad Dogs album.
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Tremendous stuff. So, I always think it's very hard for an artist who does just their own material because they've got nothing to bring to a new audience that the audience can touch. They know before, they've got to pick on a song after song after song they haven't heard. It's very hard. Because my favourite albums are the ones that I didn't really like that much first, I grew to love through repeated playing. But you don't have that opportunity in front of an audience.
I think that's why it's very important, especially when you're starting out. And if you do a support set, I'm talking to another artist out there in the audience, it's about, yeah, you're absolutely right. You've got to give them something to measure you by. So you put in a cover that you perceive that you give something new to. So the audience go, oh yeah, that gives them something to hang their hat on. Because if you do throw a load of new songs in front of people that have never heard them, it's kind of like, it just washes over. So you need to kind of correlate your set, so it kind of brings people in.
You're right. Also, I think real music fans like to say, "Oh, that's a song by so and so. I know that song."
Yeah.
And they're totally frustrated with you because they can't tie it back to anybody except you.
Well, exactly. I mean, I'm lucky now that, you know, I've got 3 albums out, and the new album, you know, you see people come to the gigs, and there's nothing better than when you see somebody singing your own song in front of you. You know, it's just like, that's everything. But we do a lot of supports, and with the support, it is my job to bring people into my music. You know, that's my job as the front person, as one of the songwriters. So that important cover early on in the set always lifts the set. And you can see the change in the audience. It's very distinct when you're on stage. It's really important.
I think it's a great step to play support and do tours with, as a support. Of course, you've then got to win over an audience that isn't yours.
You've got to win over the audience, and there's nothing more scary than being a support. And what a lot of people don't know is that 9 times out of 10 you might not be getting paid. And this is, you might see a support band at Wembley Arena. They may not be getting paid. You may see a support band at your local pub. They may not be getting paid. So if you can give the support band a little bit of your time, I know they'd really appreciate it. They may be getting paid, but a lot of that payment will probably be going to the band, be going to transporting that band up and down the country. So a support tour is always an investment. You might, you know, and you hope, because how else do you get to people? You know, it's very, very hard. I know you've got social media, and we're doing that now. But the most immediate thing is to win over somebody else's crowd. And I always try and give the support band some support, because I know what it's like.
It is really rude to spend the first set in the bar with your mates when the support band's out up and like this.
Or even ruder, and I have seen this a lot of the time, you know, they're sitting there just chat, and you just think, well, just go outside, you know, just, you know, they're trying to shout over the band. It's like,
I know you did a tour with King, didn't you?
yeah.
What are the, tell me your favourite bands you supported.
Well, I mean, King, I love a lot, because I love their music.
Do you speak Scots?
I don't speak Glaswegian, but I sort of understand Alan. And he's great, and he has a great rapport with the crowd, and I love their music. We've supported the Choir Boys now. For those of you who may not, or may know the Choir Boys, they were one of my favourite bands. They kind of rock and roll, Stones, Led Zeppelin type band, and they were signed to Sharon Osbourne.
Whoops.
Yeah, back in the day. Sorry, Jim. They were on Top of the Pops twice. And they're a hard-working, hard-gigging band, so they're gigging now. So to support them, and then their lead singer Spike asking me to get on stage and sing one of the songs that I'd, you know, listened to in my bedroom, was like, wow, this is brilliant, you know. So that was fantastic. You do get some artists that you support that are kind of not that friendly, but I won't name any names.
Now, it's always awkward saying to a singer, I'm sure this person must be your favourite singer, but I think this person might be, are you aware today whose 80th birthday it is?
Yes, Tina Turner.
Oh, I thought it was Anna Mae Bullock. When I first saw you, you reminded me of Tina.
Well, that's the highest compliment, because I think I've studied Tina I haven't got the hair anymore. I sort of had a lot of like curly hair at one stage, but I got rid of it, so, but she's incredible. I'll take that as a fantastic compliment, thank you.
That's cool. Now tell me, your current band, is it you sound as if you work in spasms, like you're not totally available, not totally on the road. You work in some sections of the year and it's spend the rest of the time writing songs. How do you do it? Bang on, rattle on.
We, basically, we've got a tour in February, so we'll do a week's tour. A lot of us have got jobs. I'm a vocal coach. I coach people, some quite well-known people, some not so well-known people. So it's not a permanent thing, but it's not a full-time position, but there is a lot of us that have got jobs. So we've got, you know, we have times where we will do gigs. Gigs have got to be for a reason. They've got to be reaching new people. they're not, we don't just gig for the sake of it. We're not, you know, a 16-year-old kids in the back of a van travelling up and down the country just for the sake of it, you know. So everything is quite well thought out. We've got an amazing manager, Colin, and we study every gig and places in the country we haven't been, places in the country we think we should go, supports we should do. So it's kind of us deciding and pinpointing exactly what we want to do, because you can be a busy fool, so it's kind of like trying to ascertain exactly what's going to get the most out of the gigs.
Well, it clearly works, because some people these days say, oh, I'm a much awarded artist, but you've won some serious awards in the blues territory. Tell us.
A couple. I
Force
suppose
yourself.
the ones that people know are the UK Female Blues Artist 2006 and 2018. So that was pretty good. That was pretty cool. And that was a public vote, so I was pretty happy about that.
I think it's very important. I mean, to get the public to get off their bums and vote for you is not the easiest thing in the world.
I know. I think the first one I thought was maybe a fluke, and then they voted for me again, and I thought, oh, all right then, maybe they do like me. That's pretty cool.
Now, your new album, More Sinner Than Saint.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. What's on it? What's on it?
More Sinner Than Sane is the album that is probably, even though it's the third album, for me and Steve, it feels like the first album, because we've transitioned kind of all our way, kind of through blues, through jazz, and then back to kind of blues and rock. But with kind of we've had a producer work on it called Bill Drescher. He's in LA. He did the soundtrack to Armageddon, to the Titanic movie, if you remember that. He's worked with the Allman Brothers. So he's worked with a lot of people, and what he delivered was a very soundscape, very kind of film noir feel to the whole of the album. So this album for me feels like, obviously I don't dismiss the others, but this one for me is like my heart, my soul, my whole life really. I think it's like what me and Steve have been building to from the beginning, and we managed to get there, but we had to kind of do the other albums to get to this one.
When did you record that?
We recorded the majority of it at Mad Hat Studios in Birmingham, when I was talking about Mark Viner Stewart. So Magnum Studio, what they use, and Jim Lee's as well. So yeah, recorded it there.
Do you say Madhouse?
Mad Hat. Mad Hat.
That's Roy Davis's place, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So is it internationally distributed? Is it going nice?
It's international distributed. The best thing in the world was going into HMV and seeing my little name tag there. It's just like a little childhood dream. Because I used to go into HMV as a kid and see, spend hours flicking through all the CDs, and then seeing your little name there was like, I almost wanted to steal it, but then I thought that sort of defeats the purpose, so I won't do that, because then it won't be there anymore, so what's the point? Whatever.
So the next stage is to sneak in with one in your pocket and slip it in the rack.
Yeah. I'll just put all the albums on the front, all of mine, and then just walk out.
So when are you next gigging in this region?
We are on the 6th of December at the Slade Rooms in Wolverhampton.
Nice.
Slade Rooms in Wolverhampton. It's a nice venue. We've played there before last year. It's a full band gig, so full headline band gig, and it's sort of like Christmas gig as well. It's sort of turned into that.
Okay. Is Mark Blackstock still running?
Is
Does Mark Blackstock still run?
I don't think so. No.
One of the best promoters I've ever met. He used to run the Civic and all the attendant gigs around there.
Well, the Civic is now being
Refurbished,
renovated, yeah, so I don't know how long that's going to be. But yeah, the Slade Rooms is attached to the Civic and to the council, so yeah. So the 6th of December.
I hope you all have your diaries. We'll remind you later on. Tickets on sale online, presumably.
Tickets are online, yep, absolutely. RebeccaDance.com / no, I'm only joking.
I should have told you that secret seat is sacrosanct. You're 3 minutes late tonight.
3 minutes late.
Any questions for this young lady? Rebecca Downs, she's there at your beck and call.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You
Hey, Johnny.
When you were at home, what music do you dance around the kitchen to when you do that?
You don't want to know. You really don't want to know.
Yeah,
I've got the widest genre appreciation there is. So it can be anything from RuPaul, if anyone watches Drag Race UK, to Etta James, to heavy metal, to anything in between. So it's like, it just depends on my mood. And I'm pretty moody, so it can be anything. But I bet you it's most likely at the moment RuPaul. Because you've got to have appreciation for everything. A song's a song. Look at that face. That face says
I
no.
don't agree at all. You've got to, when you worry about music, go and watch the Blues Brothers film again. And when Jake and Elwood went into someone's country shack and that's the door, what sort of music do you like here? She said both sorts, country and western.
And Western.
I've got a question. Talk about heavy metal. Who? He says loadedly.
Well, obviously Black Sabbath.
That's
Jim.
what I mean.
Come on. But people that people wouldn't expect me to listen to. Five Finger Death Punch, Pantera, Motley Crue,
Magnum.
Potentially.
Did you work with Magnum?
I did, yes, I did. And Tony Talkin played solo on one of my tracks on my new album. So yeah, Magnum. But yeah, people that they wouldn't expect me to listen to.
Questions? Young.
Okay.
Which artist would you have liked to have seen in their prime, so historically?
Oh, there's only one, and that's Freddie Mercury. There's only one. I mean, well, there's not only one, but that's the one that springs to mind because I was a kid when he died, so I just missed it all. And it's the one that I just think, oh my God, if I could have seen anyone, it would have been him. He's kind of, one of my number one inspirations. But there's so many. But Ella Fitzgerald, definitely. Ella Fitzgerald as well. Got the best voice in the world. Karen Carpenter.
I think Ella is definitely without doubt the finest, the most perfect jazz singer ever.
Perfect.
But it's hard to like someone who's perfect, I find.
The thing about Ella is, though, that she was the antithesis to Billie Holiday, because obviously Billie Holiday comes from a more kind of, she really does possess all that sadness, and then Ella Fitzgerald, even though she had all that sadness, I think the first band she was ever in, the band had to have a whip round to buy her first dress, because she had one dress. She owned one dress, and she needed a stage outfit. But with her singing, you'd never know that. But from Billie Holiday, you did feel that sadness. But Ella kind of lifted it. Yeah. It's just for me, I mean, yeah, she's perfect. If you listen to Ella doing any scat singing, it's like incredible.
That's a short story. I'm sorry to divert, but a pal of mine called Flip Phillips, was a pretty well-known American saxophone player. He worked on Jazz at the Philharmonic with Ella. And first night he played with us, don't know where it was, he got up and swapped four bars each with Ella, and she kept encroaching onto his four, so he kept backing off. So nearly he was playing 2.5 bars and scared to play anything. He sat down back and said to Lester, "What's wrong with Ella Fitzgerald? Does she hate me?" He said, "No," he said, "what you have to learn, Miss Ella, is you get up there, you play your tune, you sit down."
Right. She owned it.
Yeah, exactly.
She owned it. Absolutely.
Questions, chaps?
Ben,
Yes.
you say you're constantly writing, you and Steve. Where did you get your inspiration or your ideas? Where do they come from?
You know what? I mean, somebody's asked me that before, and I do think it's weird. Like for me, I always get ideas as I'm drifting off to sleep, which can be a total pain.
Right.
So on my phone you've got a recorder on your phone, so it's just, ideas. Wake up in the middle of the night, idea. And it's kind of just, it can be a vocal idea, it can be a melody, it can be something else, but it's just, I always think, where the hell does it all come from? Is it just kind of downloaded? And I've spoken to the songwriters, Tony Clarkin being one, and he kind of said the same thing. Sometimes you just think, I have no idea where this comes from. It's just kind of almost like somebody else is downloading it into your brain. And I know Sting's very similar, apart from he's a morning person, where I am not a morning person. So he gets his ideas in the morning when he's kind of half waking up. But for me, it's always when I'm going to sleep, and I have no idea. We did a podcast the other day talking about one of the songs that's on the new album. And we were talking about how the song came together. And I think Colin was asking what the song was about, and it's about a relationship, but it kind of just, the lyrics for me just fall onto the page. I don't think about them. As soon as I hear the melody in my head, the lyrics come consecutively. So it's kind of just, it's always about something that's happened, and I think it's like your subconscious sort of churning it out and making some sense of maybe something that's happened, but you're not quite happy.
Hear the melody first, then the lyrics. Or together.
Normally together, yeah. And it's always a bit weird, and I know I've spoken to other songwriters that say sort of a similar thing, you know, it's sort of you think, well, where has this come from? Spooky. Perhaps there's a ghost in my head.
Is there anyone in the last 10 years, like bands, musicians, that you've listened to and just thought they've got it, like straight away, the first album you thought they've got it?
Quite a lot, and then a lot lose it. Which is, I mean, there's a I've heard, it wasn't their first album, but a band called Death Havana. Again, more of a rock band, had a great album, just sounded fantastic. Every song on it was amazing. Then the albums they brought out after that, definitely not. I love Bonnie Raitt. I went to see Bonnie Raitt with my good friend Johnny there at the Symphony Hall. I think every album she's ever produced, I've thought that, you know, God, so hard. Bonnie Raitt's probably the last one, I think. Hurts, yes, my manager's telling me about Hurts. I don't know whether electronica, anyone into electronica? Probably not. There's a great band called Hurts, and their first album is incredible. It's kind of like symphonic electronica with amazing vocals. Again, something completely different. I can tell Jim's right into his electronica. He's there with me in the moment. But amazing songs, and for me, it's all about the song.
I'm entitled to pass by electronic because I'm the man who turned down the UK rights to the Birdie song. The band called Electronic was the original. Well, one more question. Hey, come on.
Yeah, Ben.
Out of,
Oh, sorry, go on.
Go.
so it's very difficult to ask an artist their favourite albums. So the question I usually resort to is, out of the top 20, name one.
Name one favourite album. Crash. Okay, I'd have to say Depeche Mode Violator. Just annoys people up. Because if you like the blues, listen to that album. There's an awful lot of blues on that album. A huge amount of blues on that album. Very dark album as well. So yeah, I'm going to say that. Even though people hate me for it.
Well, I enjoyed that. Wasn't that splendid? Let's put hands together. You're welcome to Rebecca Downs.